It's somehow emblematic of this crazy campaign that the latest bit of Donald Trump news comes from page 6, the New York Post gossip page, which has an email from Trump appearing to indicate that he is not going to bring up Bill Clinton's past sexual misconduct at the second debate Sunday in St. Louis. Of course, Trump famously at the first debate said, well, I could say something here, but I'm not going to say something extremely rough. Then he gave interviews afterwards saying he, of course, was talking about Bill Clinton's past and Hillary Clinton's role in what were used to be called bimbo eruptions, and that he might bring it up in the next debate. Now, maybe he was just trying to psych out the Clinton camp. Maybe he's had a change of heart. Who knows? And maybe he'll change his mind. But according to page 6, which everybody now has to read, that's the latest on that. As soon as I saw that, I clicked over to Politico, which has a big piece about Howard Stern, who's also playing a big role in this campaign, somewhat to his amazement, because Trump did so many interviews with Stern over the years in which they talked about rating women and the size of women's breasts and who would you give this 1 to 10 and who would you do, you know, the kind of thing that you do when you go on the Howard Stern show. Although, as I've mentioned, Stern, who has become such a good interviewer and has done so many recent fabulous sit-downs with political people and media people. But at that time, especially in the 90s, this is what you did. It was a locker room show, and Trump got it. He was an entertainer then. So naturally, Hillary Clinton's people and some of the media are trying to make a lot of that because that's when he talked about Rosie O'Donnell and rated women in a way that is simply not appropriate for presidential candidate. And Trump acknowledges that. He said he was an entertainer then. Those were the years, and later years, of course, he was doing The Apprentice. And had he known that one day he would go into politics, he would not have said those things in that particular forum. But the Political piece tries to make it as, well, this is the real Donald Trump, or Donald Trump was kind of played as a buffoon by Howard Stern. I don't agree with that at all. You know, if you go on the Stern show, you know, even people like Katie Couric and Megyn Kelly and others, you know, play along to some extent with Stern's focus on, let's just say, the personal side of things. And in fact, Stern got mad at CNN, and rightly so, because the one interview that has nothing to do with sex, that has gotten an awful lot of play in this campaign, has to do with a few months before the Iraq invasion. Howard Stern, what do you think? Should we go into Iraq? Donald Trump, I guess so, was kind of a lukewarm, haven't really thought about it kind of thing. And so CNN and Stern talked about it on the air, and what he said was, I can't believe I'm watching the first debate and there's my name. It's kind of surreal that I have become a factor in this presidential campaign. By the way, Howard Stern supports Hillary Clinton for president, even though he's friendly with Donald Trump. And then CNN used that and had a headline that said something like, you know, Stern, Trump was against Iraq, as if they'd had some private conversation. No, all Stern was doing was reflecting on the fact that they had that seemingly innocuous conversation in 2002 that has made so much in the headlines. So seems to me a lot of this campaign, at least the way that Hillary Clinton and her ads are pushing it, is coming down to Donald Trump and women. The Howard Stern interviews are a factor in that. The Miss Universe flap is a factor in that. Politico is now writing about that. Donald Trump now says he's not going to talk about Bill Clinton, although I wouldn't be surprised if other people bring it up or he brings it up at some non-debate forum. This tells you that we're getting down to crunch time, and that the female vote, which is breaking heavily for Hillary Clinton at this moment, is a major factor in this campaign. That's why you're seeing so much of this coverage about who said what about women in the past.